welcome to this week's Maryland's Missing and the Murdered. Maryland's Missing and the Murdered is a weekly YouTube channel that covers the topic of missing and murdered individuals from the state of Maryland. If you like this channel, please like and subscribe. Click the bell so you'll be notified when the next cases are released. This week, I'm covering the murder of Michael Temple. Michael Temple and his girlfriend Margaret lived in Odenton, Maryland with his grandmother. Michael kept opioid medication and money in his safe at the house. On a snowy evening of February 2nd, 2010, Margaret and Michael came home to find their friend Kelly waiting for them. She needed to use their computer. There was a knock at the door shortly after they got home. Two masked men with guns came in wanting Michael to open the safe. Margaret started to fight with one of the men, who pistol whipped her and strangled her to unconsciousness. Michael's uncle Donald was also pistol whipped. When Michael stabbed one of the men with a knife he had in his pocket, the man shot Michael in the leg and chest. There was blood in the snow outside from one of the suspects who was stabbed. At the hospital, Michael told police that he was a small-time drug dealer, dealing to only those he knew. Margaret and Michael wanted to have children, but Margaret had fertility issues. The medication to help her conceive was a lot of money, so Michael decided to sell opioids. Unfortunately, Michael invested the money, so he had to keep selling in order to afford the fertility medication. Michael was discharged from the hospital, paralyzed in a wheelchair. He lived for another 5 years when he died on June 18, 2015, after having a medical emergency. The medical examiner determined that Michael died from gunshot complications. This was now considered a homicide. Police investigating had blood from the knife Michael used to stab one of the men, so they submitted it for DNA testing. Genealogical testing was done, and it was narrowed down to a possible match in 2018. Police started to covertly follow the suspect, Fred Frampton, and collected a cigarette and empty coffee cup to confirm the match. On October 10, 2018, it was confirmed that Fred Frampton was their guy. On November 1, 2018, Fred Frampton was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, armed robbery, first-degree assault, and use of a gun in a violent crime. And the gun used in Michael's murder was at his house. During questioning, Fred Frampton confessed. He told police that he and Jonathan Ludwig, who had died of a drug overdose earlier in 2018, went to Michael's home to rob him. Ludwig was the one who pistol whipped and strangled Margaret, and they ended up stealing $2,000 from the safe. Frampton told police that the robbery was John's idea and that John was a client of Michael's and knew where the safe was. After the shooting, Frampton claimed he had found God and began to work with Michael's dad at Reliable Contracting. Despite working with his father, he did not confess to him what he had done to his son. On September 19, 2019, Fred Frampton pled guilty. At sentencing, he apologized to Michael's dad. The judge believed Frampton was remorseful, but said that the decision to work for the victim's father was, quote, cowardly, end quote. Fred Frampton was sentenced to 55 years in prison. Thank you for joining me this week. If there's a Maryland's Missing or Murder case that you would like to see on this channel, email me at marylandsmissing@gmail.com. Twitter is Maryland's M&M. Music is by Silent Vengeance. Sources will be listed in the outro. I will see you again next week. Be kind to one another. You never know what will happen tomorrow.